Can you start, Coach, by offering us an update on Artem Zub and Linus Ullmark?
I can. Zuby was diagnosed with a concussion, so he'll be out another week. Linus skated today, looking good, progressing well.
Anticipation that he could be ready for tomorrow night? Or
Anticipation is a great thing. Could be ready, I guess.
too soon to ask about Thomas Chabot, Coach?
Never too soon.
How's Thomas Chabot
He's fine.
recovering from?
He is perfectly fine.
Yeah.
No issues whatsoever, he'll play?
I just said he's fine.
Going back to Linus, if that's okay, I know you said he had a strain, but there was also saying he was a maintenance day. Like, when did this strain happen?
After the last game, I believe, whenever we talked about it. What day was that? The Montreal game?
Yeah, you guys played against Montreal. We didn't see him on Sunday, so it happened against Montreal?
Yeah, he felt a little strain the next day when he came in.
What's the distraction with some of these just nicks and bruises that you guys are seeing?
None at all. It's part of the game. Hockey's a physical game. You have injuries. You got 22 players on the roster that can all play. It's next man up. Whoever gets to go in the lineup, where it's unfortunate the guys get hurt, but that's part of the game and gives opportunity to someone else. You know, Mac's a good example. Didn't play the first game, goes in. He's had 2 pretty good games. So it's not a conversation in our room.
What are your expectations of Jacob Bernard-Docker if he does?
Yeah, excited to see him play. Yeah, he's excited to play. Kind of been throwing it back and forth to get him in the lineup a few times. And again, you don't ever like to see someone get hurt, but when someone does, it's new opportunity for someone else, and he'll go in and he'll get the job done.
When you look at the game on Monday, obviously that's not probably the game you want with so many goals. But for you as a coach, what's kind of that blend of trying to get the offense there while also the defense heading into this?
Pretty good game by our group. I think 5-on-5 chances. I think our video guys had them at 19-11 right now. Power play had a few chances as well. All around, pretty good game. I think the goalies would probably like to have a few back. I think we'd probably win that game without going into overtime 70-80% of the nights. It was a good game by our group. Much better with the puck. Made more plays. Didn't turn it over too many times. I was happy with our game. I mean, I'm not happy having an 8-7 game. I mean, that's the obvious. Everyone's going to say, every coach is going to say that, but I don't think it felt like a game where we were giving up a bunch of chances.
About kind of the power play, but also the penalty kill has given up 4 goals.
Yep.
Is that an area where you feel like you can improve, or goaltending?
That's stating the obvious. Anytime you give up 7 and give up some power play goals or penalty kill goals, it's easy to say you got to work on it, which we do. I think both our goalies would like to have some shots back, and that's just part of the hockey season, and we'll work on all that.
Speaking of which, do you say much to Anton or just put him back in the net?
Petey does a great job communicating with him. I talked to him after the game that night via text. But he's been in the league a long time. I'm not worried about him at all. I know he's going to be excited to get back in the net, and full confidence in him.
How does, when Linus Ullmark maybe isn't even just dressed, how does the environment on the team change, given how everybody's talked about how he's such a leader and he's so vocal?
Doesn't change a whole lot. He is a leader and he's vocal. But he's not a goalie in there that's talking all the time to the group. Everyone has their own way of leading. In team sport, when you have a guy that's hurt, you miss a player, no matter who it is, but you're never dwelling on it. We got another goalie that's going to play. There's not a whole lot that you talk about as far as guys being out or not. It's just next man up.
When you skated today, do you anticipate that probably you need to practice or 2 before he returns to the net, or is that?
It's a good question. We'll see tomorrow how he is. I'm not going to announce my starter tomorrow if that's what we're getting at.
Do coaches put money on the board for games?
Lots. No, not much. If they do, and it's in the coach's room. So. Yeah, anytime you play an old team, you want to win. I mean, that's just human nature, but they're going to want to win. It doesn't have a big effect on the game, that's for sure. I want to win every game, though.
Is there also any more of an update? I know you kind of said he's going to be at 1 to 2 weeks on Ridley Gregg.
He's progressing. I expect him to skate sooner than later, but he'll be out for a little bit still. I would say another week at least.
Maybe your forward lines, you've been deploying the line with Pinto and Norris at around the same amount of minutes. What's kind of the calculus as a coach to kind of, running like all 4 lines compared to maybe riding the line?
It depends on who's in your lineup, who's in the other team's lineup, whether you're at home as a coach or on the road. And I'm still, for me, if you play good, you play. Usually coaches want to get the guys on the ice that are playing pretty good, and the ones that aren't, not quite as much. So minutes will change from night to night between Pinto and Norris's line. I'm not sure exactly where they're at, but they're probably pretty close.
What do you look maybe from the Pinto line?
I think their line can be a good line against any line in the league, and I think Pence can be a real good matchup guy. Should be able to play against top centermen. I think Josh is capable of the same thing. And when you've got those 3 guys down the middle in your top 3, it's a nice option. But a lot of teams have depth, and that'll change from game to game how we do our matchups.
Yeah, obviously sucks that Zuby gets injured, but I guess it's just an opportunity hopefully for me to come in and do my thing and hopefully help the team.
What do you want to do with this opportunity?
I think just play my game. Obviously I've been out for the last 3, so been in good shape. Just doing lots of workouts and some bag skates, so I'm ready to go.
What was the message you got from the coaching staff about what they want you to bring?
I think just consistency and being hard to play against, being mean in corners and, not making it easy on opponents to get to our net.
You've been in this position before, you know how to approach it too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think last year really helped me out, and, whether it's injuries or you get in because you deserve it at the end of the day, I guess. You just got to do your thing and, put my best foot forward. Sorry? Yeah, I think it's just an accident. Obviously, we're battling, and we just ran into each other across ice, so hopefully he's all good. I don't think so. Just it's a battle drill, so it's going to happen every now and then. Yeah.
Do you have a nice relationship with Tyler?
We played together a little bit in college, and obviously a little bit here too, so. But I think we both know each other's game pretty well at this point, so it shouldn't be too hard of a transition. Yeah.
Familiarity can make you comfortable, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, obviously I've known Clubby for a long time, so it's always nice playing with a guy that you're familiar with and you have a little bit of rapport with, so it'll be good.
When you met him in college, what were your first impressions of him?
I think just how skilled he is for a big guy and how well he moves. I think you think of him as like a hard-hitting guy, and he does bring that physicality, but he's also got some good touch and obviously a great shot as well. So.
Now that you know him in the NHL a little bit, how different is he here as a player? How have you noticed him grow?
Yeah, I think he looks a lot more comfortable this year. It's good to see him on some breakouts, just have some patience, and I think he's looked really good. So.
Were you guys ever team partners in North Dakota?
For a little bit, yeah. I don't think consistently, but we definitely played a few games together.
Looking forward to getting in tomorrow and getting back at it.
Yeah, obviously last night, personally didn't go the way I wanted, but it's nice to get another opportunity there to get back on trainer and get going. But it's nice we ended up getting a win out of it. 2 points matters, so it was great.
When did you find out that you were starting Monday? Was it Sunday night or was it?
Well, it was a little uncertain there with Olmark, obviously, but it was night before or day before practice.
How do you approach a game, and just bounce back?
It's not like I'm a worse goalie. You just say, I got to pull the game, so you got to remember that and get back to my game. Just play the same way as I finished last year, and have those small points there where focus on and just go in and do the job.
Almost makes you want to get back in there almost as quickly as you can, right?
Yeah, it's nice. Obviously, you don't have to sit on it. Just get out there and get another chance to prove yourself. So it's good.
Anton, what did you see at practice today when Thomas went down?
A heavy hit. Yeah, I mean, I didn't really see what happened there. They tried to do some crossover there and hit each other. I learned more than that.
You're pretty good at shaking it off too, like and moving on.
I mean, I've been pulled a few times last couple of years, so yeah. I mean, it's just part of the game. At the end of the day, it's about go back to your own game, focus on that. Shit happens, and just gotta go with it.
Yeah, I mean, well, Zuby goes down last game pretty early, but I you know, for the 5 guys that played, we obviously had to fill in some big shoes. Zuby's a really important player for our group. Plays some hard minutes. We obviously know that and know the kind of player. Thanks, Sandy. Know the kind of player that he is, the presence that he brings to our group. So when you see him go down like that, it's never good. It was a big hit, obviously. So, but you have to have that mentality that, unfortunately, you know, injuries are going to happen, and everyone's got to kind of pull collectively and fill the void while he's out.
When you are switching with different D partners, whether that's Jensen, whether that's Sanderson,
Yeah.
What's important, you know, to maintain some consistency?
I think communication. I think that's really important. That can really simplify the game for not only you and your partner, but everybody else in the ice as well. So when you kind of, in a game like that where you're early on in the season and you're going 5Ds, seems like you're playing with everybody, I think communication's an important piece. And as a defensive core, I think away from the ice and away from the rink, we try to really communicate with one another. And I am a firm believer that when you have an open line of dialogue and that friendship built off the ice, that really makes a difference when you're on the ice, that communication factor. So early on in the season, I think that's important.
As wild as Monday's game was, is there a lot to take from that from a positive standpoint?
Yeah, I mean, it was a crazy game. I don't know if I've been a part of one of those for a long time. My kids seem to enjoy it. There's a lot of cheering for them, but you know, it is nice to come out on top. I mean, I'm sure we're singing a different tune if we unfortunately lose that game in overtime. It's obviously not how we drew it up before the game, and I'm sure LA would say the same. But I think the fact that we stuck with it, you know, we got behind kind of early, and then we got one, and then we got behind again. And then it seemed like we were kind of chasing the game for a little bit, on the scoreboard at least. But we did feel like we were doing some good things on the ice. And, you know, one side of our special teams was really good, and the other one needed some improvement. But it's one of those games that maybe you burn the tape a little bit and get ready for the next one.
Travis, what did you see at practice when Thomas went down?
You know what? I didn't see it, to be honest with you. I heard it, a bit of a collision there, but I had just finished my rep, so I was getting ready for my next rep.